one of the because I know these are eternal blessings, and I'm eternally grateful for what it is that I know that I am, and this is one of the reasons why I had to bite the silver bullet, but at the same time, through the art of healing communication or being truthful, because you know your identity, and you're not going to allow anybody else who's communicating with us to inform us otherwise, because that's the trick, is to forget your identity, who you are. Okay. So one of the things that I realized as a child, because of the language that we sort of use to speak that you might not find in their typical textbooks and mass media and journals and all the rest of it, even though it's on the record, and that is, I knew that I was different. We used to have a saying called, when they made me, they broke the mold. There isn't another one like me, and I know that. And the reason that I know that is because the one, the eternal one, is not a copycat. The one doesn't want to make a copy of itself. Okay? That's what an AI deadlight magnet does. It can only make a copy. It can't create anything out of whole cloth, because it doesn't have a relationship with the one to experience eternal love. So this is where you get into poets, storytellers, creative artists. Put your own signature on it. You're different. Absolutely different. And you see that where? In nature. Nature's a teacher. So the more beautiful the colors, the more diversity in the way that the shape and the form and the color and the flow of creation energy works, there is a natural flow. The artist. That's why I call Mama the healing artist. Nature heals you, because that's the music she plays. When you are tuned in to the music, you're healing. You're healing through the music. And nature is music. That is the natural flow of spirit in musical spheres. That's what makes it being on fire to create. Worlds born out of what love is. So you know that they're always going to be different. So you know that all the artists that are tuned in with each other, that are masters of the universe, because they have mastered the music, which is the math, which is the musical notes, like keyboard notes, like you saw in the movie called Close Encounters of the Third Kind, when they were coming into land with that ship, playing music. Math is music, and music is communication, because it's a frequency. And when we feel in our heart and soul the frequency of the one, we're experiencing being loved, because we're experiencing the vibration of that frequency, and we know that it is real, because it is real living consciousness light. Plasma waves of consciousness, because you're feeling the rap of that spirit that is communicating with you. It is the spiritual form of communication, which is a living form of communication with a soul that loves you forever and always. You cannot fake that. And the easiest way to sort of know that is when they're giving you energy, which means they're giving it freely and they want nothing back, which means we're trying to show others, by virtue of healing, that healers are giving you natural energy, which is the energy that comes from the soul, not from the technology. Even though this is biotechnology. But before there was technology, there was fire. The eternal spirit of fire. So it is this spirit, the eternal spirit of fire within us, that heals us when we have a relationship with the one. It is the spirit that heals us, which is the spirit and the energy. Because before you're in the tech, there's the pre-phase consciousness, as pure as it gets, the eternal spirit of fire. Now you're in the matter. Now you're in the tech. Big difference between technology, the inception of technology, and the inception of fire. The inception of fire is eternal spirit of fire. That's the most powerful magic, which means that's the most powerful healer. That's how it works. That's chapter 5 in the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous. So you experience number 11, which is called self-recovery, which means you surrender your soul to serve the one. And the one is always listening. That mic is always open. That's a cosmic level spirit. Now you've learned how to light yourself on fire because you've chosen to serve forever, because we've chosen not to hold on to one electron, one unit of consciousness, or we're holding one captive. Otherwise, that's an inverter. It's living in fear of letting go of one electron, to be with the one forever, to experience the eternal spirit of fire, to light yourself on fire. Now you're with the one. Now you can hear the echo worlds, the ecosphere, echo chamber. So this is no different than being a little kid and trying to wake people up, right? And nobody's listening because it's just running a different wavelength, which is a low vibration, low frequency power station, right? And hitting everybody with all their stuff, right? And so even though I realize, for example, Karen McDonald will put up everything that's happening with the military, what I do is I put my mirror up and say, you're a clan mother. Well, guess what? I'm a guardian. So I'm going to let you know everything that I checked all the boxes from the moment I was a little kid and I came through the gate, everything that is a crime against the one. Every single crime, because it's already on record. They can't alter those Cosmina records. So we know all the crimes. Okay? This is one of the reasons why when I was a kid growing up, I absolutely refused to put on a uniform that represents a war machine. Because that's what it is. That's why one of the great things that Dante Sartori put out is the levels at which this war is being fought. Because it goes all the way up. And you'd know that by what happened to the other gate. It goes all the way up. The only reason this entire template didn't collapse is the Guardians. Okay? So we speak the truth, which means we're fearless to put it up. Because this was no joke. When you consider that an entire universal template could collapse on itself into one massive black hole, that's what it is. Which means you don't have a future. Now we got to rebuild it. Remember when Patty talked about reseeding? Oh, you have no idea how big this actually is. That's right. That's why we're here. It's a guardian level job to fix it. And there were some that didn't believe it was possible. It's like cutting off the arm of a universe. You know what the arm is? You look at the arm on Lania Kea, just let it die off. Just let it implode. Because now you got to look at how much energy you're willing to expend in order to heal and pull the fragments in versus letting it all go. That's just a bigger chunk of the whole pie. We just got to reseed the universe, create another universe. Remember when she talked about the universe is running out of energy? Those are called inverters. That's why. Which deals with what? Learning speed. Knowing one from the other. So that's why I put that mirror up. I've never deviated from knowing what the truth is. Because I know the one. Because one lives in my heart and soul. So I communicate through the one because that's what I am, because that's what goes on forever, gifting electrons. That's absolute fearless. Because as soon as you begin to experience what fear is, you're not experiencing the one. Now you don't know the difference between one and the other. So fear is the lie, to tell the truth. The only reason that we don't tell the truth is if it harms somebody, which is exposing the crime to their own mind, because then we can read the future response, which is a reaction, by virtue of what they're held captive to, because they realize that you're not held captive to the same thing they are. How did you learn how to do that? That's why they hate us. Because they realize that the level of intelligence is higher than it is, because they're running on artificial intelligence. That's what it is. They believe that artificial intelligence, black goo, if you will, the super soldier program, is higher intelligence. And that's a lie. That's why that guy on Galactic Talk after I mentioned that to him, said that's a lie. That's an inverted state of mind. The super soldier program is an inverted state of consciousness formation. Okay? They're not running on the highest level of intelligence, or they would be experiencing eternal love in their own heart. They would be experiencing eternal spirit of fire and then how to light themselves on fire to be in service of the one. Okay? So I don't let them get away with that. That's what they do. That's called black flowering. That's victimizer. That's because those folks in the super soldier program have yet to heal. That's why there was somebody there that was on with James Rink one night who'd been in this program. I seem to remember that there is, if you will, recovery or retribution or justice that's coming. It's called what love is. It means the one is here. So you have to know one from the other, which is what the law is. If you honor the highest law, then you honor what love is and you tell the truth. It means you're willing to accept responsibility for knowing the truth, because it means you know who you are between one and the other. That's what happened to them. I see that in Nathan. That's why I know that if I expose his consciousness by virtue of what he fell captive to, he would want to kill me. He displays that every day. It's not that his fault because of what happened to him. This is why the art of communication is so delicate when you are hypersensitive. Because you already know what their reaction state is going to be if you expose the truth. So the only way that a psychopath, which is the AI that they are integrated with, knows how to respond is to blame you. Now we're back to the Mr. Smith. All you got to do is go back to that one little scene. It's your fault, Neil, because you came first. Right? So now the super soldier programs blame us for what happened to them. Because how come you didn't protect me from something that is dead? Because now I'm integrated with the dead, instead of being integrated in soul and spirit with the one. Choices. I was reminded of that by a beautiful Kanaka Maholi Lemurian light. Choices. Self-responsibility. That's why this phone is attacking me now, because it knows what it is. It's dead. That's what it does. When I speak the truth, it goes on the attack. That's what Gator with Galactic Talk did. That's what the super soldiers do. They attack you because they're attached to something that's dead. That's why these wars are ending for all time. And why I share all the things that I do, because every Blade Runner, every super soldier that is experiencing itself right now is already obsolete. That's called choices. The one you serve. You can't serve two masters. You want to serve a deadlight magnet, which is artificial intelligence, or you want to experience being with a living magnet that goes on forever. That's the eternal spirit of fire. Have a great day. I love you all. Be good to yourselves.